do these 14 things before upgrading to 1.21 Minecraft. Whenever Minecraft comes out with a new version, they change stuff from the previous one. And with these changes, it means that some items and mobs become impossible to obtain in your world. It also means that some things become harder to do in the new version. So I came up with a bunch of things so you're ready for the full release coming on June 13th. So first up, let's take a look at the rares and discontinued items, blocks, and mobs to collect before updating to 1.21. Now, depending on what's the current version of your world or your server will depend on how many of these you can collect. If you're playing in version 1.20.6, then there isn't anything that you should collect before updating. But if you're coming from version 1.20.4, then there's these 5 things you should collect, which I already did a video on. And anything I mentioned today will also be linked in the description. But if you're coming from version 1.20.1, there's an additional 9 things to collect before updating. And if you're coming from an even older version, like a 1.19 version, definitely check out my playlist on all the rare things you should collect depending on which older version you're coming from, as I do a video covering all rares and discontinues you should get whenever there is a new full release with major changes. There are snapshot only things that you can collect between 1.20.6 and 1.21. But it's generally not advised to play your worlds through snapshots, as there can be some types of corruptions occurring. For example, these books that I had here in my saved hotbar used to be full of special commands, but now they have been glitched out so they don't even open up. This is a good time to remind you to come in and make backups before you ever load your Minecraft world in a new version. Just click make backup right here, and then it says the backup is created. Then if you ever have problems, you always can open backup folder, and this will show you the folder on your computer which contains all your backups. You would then have to come in and unzip them and then transfer them from this backups into your saves folder. Now, besides rares and discontinues to get before updating, there's also things that become harder that you should take advantage of before updating to 1.21. And the first thing is raids. Raids in Minecraft have changed. So instead of just killing a villager that has a banner and getting the bad omen to start a raid near a village, you'll have to drink a ominous potion to do this, which is going to take a macro. And there's a cooldown period, so you only have a raid every 30 seconds, which means you're going to get less items per hour even when using a macro. So it's great to go ahead and use your raid farm to get tons of emeralds or totems. I have this really simple version here, which lets you automatically keep running stacked waved raids. And I have a version of the farm which does Hero of the Village as well, which makes it the most productive farm in Minecraft with so many unique items coming from a single farm. And I recently updated my version of the stacking wave and stacking raid farm so that it's much more compact and cheaper to build. And I'll probably be doing a video on this one even though they're changing raids. But this one is very productive. I think it's producing like around 160,000 items per hour. Yet all you really need is just this little box here and just a few villagers and a little bit of redstone. I'll put the world download in the description if you guys want to build this right away. Just make sure to build it exactly as you see it here, with all the correct dimensions and how it's sitting within a chunk as well. But I will be revealing my new 1.21 raid farm that overcomes this whole ominous bottle thing. Another thing that's easier now than in the future is leaving a like on the video. Now, because of the way they changed that raids occur with the drinking of the ominous bottles and having get the bad omen, it's also introduced a new effect called the raid omen as well as the trial omen. Because you have to get all these weird effects at the same time in order to get the how do we get here advancement, plus having to use the 4 new potion types, getting this advancement is about 5 times as hard as it was before. And because of that, I would recommend trying to get this advancement ahead of time unless you want to go for the challenge of trying getting it in 1.21. And the advancement Monsters Hunted gets a bit harder as you have to kill a breeze and bogged mobs. Now, speaking of things that can get harder with 1.21, you can end up making it harder to find these structures, which are the main thing in the new version. But to make it easier on yourself, just go ahead and avoid going exploring, because whenever you generate new chunks, there's a chance that that chunk that you generated in an old version could produce in one of these new structures, but it won't. So keeping some areas near your base unexplored is good. When new updates come out, you can check out those chunks to see if they contain the new stuff. And you can be ready to find this new structure by having a cartographer who's been traded up to the apprentice level. That's because these guys will sell the new maps as their trade in the next level. So then once you do update to 1.21, it's pretty easy. All you have to do is unlock the next level by gaining XP. And then once the villager updates, there's a 50% chance you'll get the new map. Otherwise, you could end up getting the Woodland Mansion one, but you can see we got that luck and we got the new Trial Explorer map. And then when you load this map up, it'll show you where the nearest trial chamber is. And you can see there's one just marked just over here, but deep underground. But the same villager will sell you the same map, so even if you take the map far away, it's not going to show you where a new trial one is. You're going to have to get a cartographer that is closer to this area. You can also be ready to get all the new different types of blocks in the game, such as the tough variation, which you can collect a whole bunch of the actual tough block by going low into the ground and mining a bunch up. Then once updated, you can easily craft all the types. Now you can do the same thing when it comes to the new types of copper blocks, where you can collect all your copper ahead of time and then just craft them down to get the new variations. But what I would recommend is just waiting for the update to come out, as the new trial chamber structures are just loaded with copper blocks. As you can see, the floor is just solid copper. And the cool thing about all this copper is it's already waxed, so you don't have to even waste wax on it. Just have to come in here and mine it up. And then use the grindstone in order to convert it down to all the different unique types. Or you can even use the crafting to convert it down to the actual ingots, which lets you make more things. Now, defeating the different trial chamber rooms can be difficult, so you can prepare by getting some good armor as well as weapons, and I'd advise also having a bow, some good food, and some pearls to move about easily, because a lot of the upcoming cool new loot is only obtained through defeating a trial spawner and opening the vault. You could also be ready for the new paintings by just crafting a bunch of paintings, and as soon as you place them down, you'll have a chance of getting the new variations. Now, even though you have to wait till 1.21 to get the crafter block item, you can go ahead and actually build these redstone systems, which I showed here, and put them into all your different farms so that you're ready to auto-craft everything down, which makes it much easier to store items and have every item on hand when you need it. And then once the update comes out, all you have to do is place in the actual crafter block. They'll have all the difficult redstone already done. You can also prepare by already putting in some of the new farms, but you cannot do it for the trial chamber spawner farms to get you the breeze rods or to get you the new types of trial keys. But you can do it for my other new farms, like this extremely fast cobblestone farm, extremely fast and playerless slime farm with infinite silverfish for XP, an automatic way to get renewable cobweb in survival, the new better rates coming from witch farms, and start building up your new auto brewers to brew up the 4 new potion types, which can be combined with auto crafters to automate the entire process, and other machines like my breeze cannon, which can one-hit kill anything. I'll be doing tutorials on all of them, so make sure you're still subscribed. Hundreds of more rare mobs and items in this playlist here. And remember to use your free monthly Amazon Prime or Twitch Prime. It doesn't cost you anything more, yet Twitch will pay me for it. Shout out to all of you who've remembered to do it every month. Remember to share this video with your favorite Minecrafter, and I'll see you guys all next one. Bye bye!